I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, I brought you here so I can ask you some questions. So,
Okay.
here's the first one. All right. What do you value in your marriage?
In my marriage, I value communication very highly. I try to give young people 3 words of advice or 3 things of advice when it comes to valuing a relationship. Number 1 is to give your partner the benefit of the doubt. You know, they are not out to get you. Most people are not out to get you, and so just give them the benefit of the doubt. That you give that to them so that the ability to make a mistake, and then they'll give that back to you. You know, you make a mistake, it'll be okay. The second is get off the porn. You know, if you want to have a real, open, honest relationship, you got to cut pornography out of your relationship. And the third thing is to have interests. Similar interests. It's very hard to communicate. It's very hard to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. It's very hard to be in a relationship with someone that you don't like, you know, that you don't have things in common with. So I would say that those 3 things, you have something in common with your partner.
Okay. Second question. How did you meet your spouse?
Miss Folletti slid into my DMs on Facebook.
She slid in your DMs?
She slid in my DMs, yes. That's right.
Take notes, y'all.
Yeah, she slid in my DM. You know, I reciprocated the DMs sliding, you know, but we have mutual friends on Facebook. You know, that old people app that you guys know about.
I've never heard of it.
And she messaged me, and I thought she was cute, so I messaged her back. I wasn't gonna message her back if she wasn't cute, so.
I feel that. All right. What would you have told yourself before you met your spouse?
That's a good question. What would I have told myself? I would have said that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to say you're not okay. And it's okay to not give up. I think that's a good thing.
All right. Number 4. What's something you had to learn to do when you got married?
Learn to do when we got married?
Yeah, like afterwards,
like after the wedding and all that.
Maybe like a year in or whatever.
A year in, I would say I had to learn to listen to my wife more, and sometimes just do what she wants to do. You know, I'm a pretty strong-willed guy, so sometimes I'm like, no, we gotta do it this way. But hearing her out and hearing her wisdom on certain things helped a lot. Not to say, you know, you just throw away all your good sense, but you know, just being somebody who's able to listen is a real strength.
Okay. Number 5. Do you feel that marriage has brought you closer to God?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, marriage is, you know, God created marriage. You know, it's, you know, when Jesus describes his relationship with humanity and with the church, is often described in marital terms. You know, Christ is the church, is the groom, and the church is the bride, something like that. It's always marital terms. So yeah, I definitely think I've been closer to God.
Okay. Number 6. How would you describe love? Like, do you describe it as a feeling or like?
That's a good question. At the risk of being of a cop-out, it really is both. You know, love is a feeling, but it's also an action. You know, you do love. You don't just say love, but you also have to say love too. You know, it's both human beings like hearing "I love you," and they like being shown that they love you. So it's both a show and tell. It's a hear and do. It really is both. But it does start with that that feeling, that spark, that, you know, that affection.
Number 7. What's something you relate to now that you didn't before once you got married?
What do you mean? What do you mean relate?
So like, you know, like your parents say something, but then like as a kid you ain't really like.
Oh yeah, that is a good one. Pick your battles. Pick your battles is a good one. Sometimes the fight's just not worth it. It's just not. Now that's not to say that if you really feel strongly about something, then yeah, you got, you know, you say what you gotta say. But sometimes it just ain't worth it. Something like where the kid goes to school, that's something big. you know, what car we drive, or like, you know, where we live. That's like middle. And then like, who does the dishes on what night? That's just very minor. So knowing where like the levels are, what the levels are.
Do you believe that every couple should have kids?
That's a good question. The declining birth rate in the country is certainly a concern.
Yeah.
But I can't say that everyone is ready for children when they get married. Most children are unplanned. So, you know, I can't say every. I try to deal too much in absolutes. I can't say every couple should have children. Some people ain't ready for kids. Some people's childhoods are too traumatic for them to really fully embrace a child. Some people don't like children, and they just don't. It's just they don't like children. I would say get with someone who also wants children. If someone says they don't want children, believe them and move on. If it's what you want. I will also say, but you don't want to take that chance. You know, you want to upfront kind of know, all right, we both want kids. We both don't. And even if you both don't want kids, I mean, I guess that there's time to change, but I can't say every, no. That's a really good question. I can't say every, no. I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Like sometimes kind of, I mean, yeah. Case by case basis for sure.
Number 9, would you say being married is easy?
No. 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 You ever dug a hole
Yes.
with a shovel?
Yes.
You know how you dig a hole where you can have like a square shovel, or you have a pointed shovel? You ever dug a hole with your fingernails?
Yes.
That's marriage.
That's marriage?
That's marriage. Digging a hole with no fingernails. You're just snubs, and you're all right. Dig this hole 6 feet deep. No, marriage is not easy.
Okay. Just to clarify.
Do you have the impression that it is easy?
No. I was just trying to clarify with people behind the camera or whatnot.
No, people think they look on Instagram. They're like, oh, look at that, they've been married 20 years. Oh, look, dog, that 20 years. No, marriage is not easy.
What do you admire most about your spouse?
About Miss Folletti? Oh man, she's like the smartest lady I know. She got like all good grades in college and in high school. She was just so smart, and like she understands like where people are, and she can meet them where they are. I don't really do that. I just kind of dismiss them, and she has like an open heart. She's very wise beyond her years. She just understands what needs to be done. She's a great mom to our son. She, homeschools him and sends him to regular school. She cooks for us. She cleans for us. Oh man, she's amazing. She's put me on so much anime. I wasn't an anime before her. Now she's put me on anime. I'm a total anime head now. Her parents. She's good to my parents. She's good to our siblings. She's a great sister. She's a good confidant. She can keep a secret. She knows what not to keep a secret, what to keep a secret. What else? She's faithful. She loves God. She cares about the spiritual things. She's always trying to like find a new spiritual angle for something. She likes video games. What was the question?
It was, what do you admire most?
Oh, admire. Oh, that's right. Let me see what else. She's very understanding. She knows like how much is enough, and she's like, okay, I understand where this is. She's just very understanding. She's very accepting too. I'm not a very accepting person. She's very, very accepting. But she knows how to like set good. She sets good boundaries too. She knows where to set boundaries with people, where to let things go too far. Would like to experiment a little bit. You said Maya, right?
Yeah.
She's talented. She can draw. She's very artsy. She just has an eye for like the aesthetics of things. She's nice. She's She's just nice. She's a nice lady. She's a nice person. She's affirming. She's very affirming. She writes me little notes in my lunch, little nice things. She's affirming. She likes to laugh. She's a laugher. She likes to laugh. I gotta run all my jokes by her. She has a great sense of humor, and if it's a bad joke, I just let it go because it's not making her laugh. She's energetic. She's not like, she wants to do stuff. She's like ready to do it.
Okay. Last question. So like, studies have shown that people like they're getting married like later on in life, like after 27.
Yes, yeah, something like the average is 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? It's another good question. I think that social media is ruining relationships in so many different ways, and not necessarily that social media itself is a bad thing, because it's a great way to connect with people. It's a great way to like.
That's how y'all got it.
Yes, exactly. Right here. How am I going to hate on social media itself when I'm a product of a social media relationship? No, that would be silly. But people compare themselves to people on social media, and this is not through any fault of anybody on either the people or the algorithm, But it's just you have to teach people to not compare. You can't compare yourself to people in the movies. You ain't got the money, you ain't got the time. You're not in the movies. You just can't. And so social media has done this thing where the movies are now like the people that you know. Does that make sense? Where it's like, instead it was like, who do you guys know that is in movies? Like a movie person, like an actress or an actor. Okay, Michael B. Jordan, right? Okay, give me a lady. I don't know.
Zendaya.
Okay, way too young. But let's just say, okay, you would look at their movie and be like, oh, I want to be that. You're like, well, that's a script, that's a movie, right? But now the Michael B. Jordans, they are like in your school, because they're on social. I don't mean that literally.
Y'all know who you are.
You just don't, you compare yourself to people right there, and their life just looks perfect. They got all the picture perfect Instagram photos.
But behind closed doors.
Well, you just don't know what's behind closed doors. They could be happy, they could be miserable. You just don't know, but you're comparing yourself to their highlight reel. And that's just, when you're growing up, that can be really detrimental. If you're like in 6th grade, 7th grade, or you're in 8th or 9th grade, you're hitting puberty. Be really, really difficult. So again, I hate to say it like that, like social media. I hate to say it like an old guy, but that's a huge issue.
Okay. All right. Well, that was the last
question. Those are great questions, guys.
Yep.
Very good. You are very, very, very